Part of being a leader is being visible. Now, if you're a leader already, you'll know this. But I wonder if you're visible now, what it used to be like for you, and how I see it for those that are still really scared of being visible. And not wanting to be visible can look like many different forms of creating lots of content and sitting on it. Hiding behind a brand, but the brand not actually being you. It can look like not getting out to speak in front of others. It can look like not expressing yourself when you really want to. It can look like hiding behind others or hiding behind a computer. Those are just some of the ways that it can look like. But being visible, what that's really saying is you being able to share what really your truth and what matters to you. And why wouldn't you want to do that? And when I used to hide behind my sofa, I remember I wrote a blog recently about it, and it kind of made me chuckle because I really wanted to be visible, or at least I thought I did, about 4 or 5 years ago. And I came and had my house feng shuied by the amazing Marie Diamond. And she took one look at my I'm laughing because it seems so ridiculous. She took one look at my living room and she just went, because the sofa was facing away from the window. So really, when I was sitting in my sofa, I was having my back to the world. And I wasn't looking out, I was looking in. And she said, well, the way your living room's set up speaks volumes. And I was like, oh gosh, yeah, it does, I guess. So we changed it around and we had the sofa now looking out onto the world. And it was very interesting what happened, because when we changed everything in the room, I got really sick the next day. It was almost like the external shift had a massive, it had created something within me to change what I was feeling about visibility. And what I've really got to see now with being on television and writing for the Huffington Post and all of these things that I've done, is the fear of being visible is just an illusion. It's not real. Because the fear of being visible, really what you're saying is the fear of people saying stuff about you. They won't like you, they won't resonate with what you have to say. You know, they'll bring out the tomatoes and start throwing them at you. There's also the fear of the success. What happens if you're successful and it's a lonely road, and all of those beliefs that we have around it. But actually, who we are can't get affected by any of that. It's our ego that does. And while it may seem painful, the pain doesn't come from what somebody thinks of us, it comes from us. So you can still be uncomfortable, but you can be uncomfortable not being visible. You can be uncomfortable being visible. In fact, being uncomfortable doesn't say anything about your visibility or not being visible. It just means you're uncomfortable. You're just going through an uncomfortable moment. So we do so many things in our lives to avoid these feelings of discomfort. And yet what we don't realize is that the feelings don't come from what we're doing. The feelings just come from thought in the moment. So we're going to feel those feelings regardless whether we're visible or not. So what do we have to lose? If we're not responsible how people think, the feelings don't come from what they think. the feelings of success or failure don't come from any of that anyway. And we can still feel uncomfortable with not being visible and being visible, then we might as well get on with it, really. So yeah, so if you're struggling to get visible and wanting and have that fear, it's completely natural if you think that your feelings are going to be coming from what people think or the future, or somehow somebody ridiculed in the past and that will happen again. But know that your feelings don't come from that. They don't come from being visible, they don't come from not being visible, they come from thought in the moment that knows nothing about you being visible or your circumstances or even who you are. They just know about thought. So get visible.